What's going on? I'm going to do a quick video on meditation, and I'm going to start off with when Paul in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 31, he said, I die daily. Also in the Saint Mat tradition, it was like a movement. They would say dying while living. So it's basically like they're playing out the dying process. And there's a lady called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She had a book called On Death and Dying. And she came up with the five stages of grief. And that was denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And it's not to say that this happens in order, or all five happens, because somebody could through their life understand and accept death, and they just, once they know that they're dying, they just have an acceptance. They don't go through no depression, no bargaining, and no denial, nothing. So it's not like a definite five. And when you look in the handbook of thanatology, or you look into the study of the death or the dying process, of like the biological dying process. And this is not for people who get into like an accident or go through something where they immediately just die. This is for people who are like on their deathbed and they have a illness where it can't, like, that's it. They know that they can't do anything, and they was given a certain amount of time to die, and they just, they're just waiting for that day. And symptoms: first, a dying person, their hands and feet lose circulation, and then the arms and the legs, then the bottom of the torso and coming up. The body starts shutting down, like different using the bathroom becomes less. Different organs start shutting down. Basically, it starts like shutting down like a laptop or something. And it goes up until you get to the brain. And when the brain shuts down, that's when the person is fully dead. And even before that, the breathing slows down, and what you notice is that when you're in deep meditation and you're meditating for a long periods of time, this same process happens. I notice sometimes when I'm meditating, like you kind of stop feeling, like your feet and hands get kind of numb, and then like it happens like your legs, and then it comes up, and then when it gets to like the torso or like your upper chest, where it's like you're not really feeling it, or you kind of like lose focus from it, you notice that like sometimes you're breathing, when you forget about it, your breathing slows down like real slow. Or sometimes when you're aware of it, your breathing, your adrenaline starts coming in, because sometimes your natural body and your nature, its defense mechanism is to make adrenaline rush because it thinks that it's dying. So there's like an adrenaline rush sometimes, and then you start breathing even harder, and it's just making you breathe even harder and kind of messing with your meditation. So so in the Sant Mat tradition, they practice meditation like this, and they call it dying while living. So in meditation, when you're focusing, just observing alone at the third eye point. So you're keeping your focus there at that point only, and when you forget about the rest of your body. So basically now, your mind and thoughts are going, you can see your mind and your thoughts going 100 miles per hour when you get to the meditation. Even if you get to the point of like where it's like, okay, there's silence, when you don't hear the mind as much and your thoughts and seeing images, you can, when you even focus even more, you'll find that there's like a even smaller, more silent voice still going on. During meditation, you will also notice things like, and learn that the illusion of time. Sometimes you could meditate for like an hour and it feels like it was just 20 minutes. And then like your alarm or whatever goes off and you're like, that's it? Like that was an hour? And then sometimes in the same hour, you finish meditating and it felt like you was meditating for like 2 hours. So by that, you have the realization that time is an illusion. You will also see like images in the form of like, you know, when you're daydreaming, you see those type of images, or you will see like a radiant type of form of images, where it's like when you see a bunch of lights and like a radiant type starish form, and like those forms will like form into like images of things, or just lights, or like deities, or, you know, if you're in a certain religion, that form will come up. You're Christian, sometimes the form of like a Jesus, or if you Hindu, a form of Kali or Ganesh, stuff like that. You'll see like images of like memories in the past, or you'll see like past traumas play out in your mind during meditation. You'll see like past hurts that are like hidden. It'll make things surface up sometimes. In meditation also, you'll see like future ideas, concepts will show in your mind, artistic inspirations. You'll see like relatives that passed on, and what you would realize with this is that when you're doing and you seeing that, you know, if you see how the mind is just going crazy 100 miles per hour, and you'll realize that if you're putting the cart before the horse, then you know that the ego would, and the mind alone would just run amok. So now the purpose of meditation is to realize who or what is the true cart, and who and what is within the cart, and putting that cart in its proper place and abide in the cart. So you seeing all these things, and you see the mind going crazy, and you see the ego, and you seeing everything like, whoa, like all these images and everything. You're not attaching to these things. Now you see that where you are, and now you see the horse, and now you control it now, or you be within the cart, and you go into your proper place, and now you just observing it now, and you're not letting it just run amok. So what meditation is overall, true meditation, because people say they meditate and then they like focus on something, and they say, oh, I want this, and they try to like manifest something. To each his own, or they try to like they do mantras and do all of these other things. It's not saying, who am I? I can't say what's wrong or right. And everything has its purpose. But true meditation is abiding in what you truly are, and being one with God. So this is like true prayer, meditation. And also with meditation, you're seeing the images, the visions, having experiences. That can be a good stepping stone. Say if somebody's like not into spirituality, or they're not into even religion or knowing about God or anything like that. Just seeing the images and having the experiences, it can be a stepping stone for somebody like that to come to a realization that there's more to life than the physical world. But if a person gets stuck in experiences and like subtle feelings and appearances and stuff like that, this could also be like a trap, because then you just looking for more and more of that, and if you don't get that, then you feel like, oh, my meditation didn't go right or anything like that. That's not what it's about. But it can be a stepping stone for somebody to have a realization to keep going further toward God, because they say, oh wow, like there's more to life than this physical, because I had this experience. And this is how like people who have like near-death experiences, sometimes they never believed in anything, and then when they had that experience, they're like, oh wow, like I didn't know. So now with meditation, there's no position or like correct way of sitting, or like, oh, you got to do this and you have your hands like this. There's no set way. There's if you in a system where they say you got to do it and that's what you want to do, then it is what it is. But there's no, because the whole point is to not focus on the external, in the body. So you're supposed to be going within, so that this shouldn't matter. But what I will say is that to if you're being in a position that is comfortable, that you should be in a position that you're so comfortable that you're not focused on the body, and like you're not getting no pain, or and it's taking your focus externally, but also not so comfortable that you end up sleeping. So just any position where it's like comfortable enough where you're focused within, but not so comfortable where it's like you're gonna just fall asleep. Also, find a place that's most quiet with no lights. So turn off the lights and turn off any lights you can, because if sometimes we can see things and we think we're getting an inner experience, and you have like a TV going on, like you can get like a experience, because it's really an external light. And like if you like look at something for like 10 seconds and then close your eyes right after that, sometimes you're like, you could still see that image which you focused on for like 10 seconds in like your mind. So turn off all lights, most lights, as much as you can that you could turn off, and get into like a dark place. And even with no lights, when you have all the lights off, still wear like a blindfold or something, so that like it's even more. Like, don't just count on just closing your eyes. Like, no lights, blindfolded, and closing your eyes. So there's like no focus on the external lights or anything. While you're meditating, do not try to focus on anything, like no mantras, no images. Like whatever pops up, only observe and listen. And notice that even in that total darkness that you're in, you that is seeing with like no eyeballs being used, and you're still seeing within that darkness, and what is actually doing the seeing is your true self. That's you that is seeing, and that's the same you that's within everyone, and that same thing that's seeing is God. And it's not individual, it's within everybody, and it's actually one thing. So that should be like your own the focus of the whole meditation. And whatever you're seeing or whatever is popping up, realize that you are seeing these things in the dark. Even the darkness that you see, where you could say it's in front of you, is not your eyelids you're seeing. You're not the darkness seeing. Even the darkness you see, it's you, the true self, that is seeing the darkness also. Even the darkness in front of you is external. So the mind, it'll run amok, and you'll notice that, and it will give you images, feelings, and experiences within. So just observe and listen. Observe and listen. That's what the soul does. Don't judge or critique anything. Anything that pops up in any way, whether it's feelings, images, experiences, anything, just observe with like a awe, like when you just staring at. Have you ever just seen like a girl that's just like beautiful, and it's like you just staring at her like, wow, like she just looked good, she looked beautiful, and it's like you just lost for words, but you're just looking, and it's like, wow. Like, you, that's what you're doing. You're just looking at these things, images and feelings and all these, whatever it is that pops up within, and you're just observing in awe, and look with compassion also. This goes to, like, even when past hurts pop up in your mind, or images of like past traumas and things that surface, just look with compassion. This can help with that. And don't I don't like telling people what to do, but do whatever you want. But I'm just speaking from my perception and what, don't try to go into meditation looking for like some great experience or like some super spiritual experience, and then say like, oh, okay, I made it to a new level, and I had that experience, so I'm getting somewhere. No, because your mind and your ego is very smart and clever. Your mind and your ego will give you experiences and make you see things and feel things to boost your ego, to make you feel like you're getting somewhere, or that you're on a new level, or like, and sometimes a lot of people feel like, oh, I experienced this, and then they start feeling like they're better than other people, and it gets like this, oh, I'm on a higher spiritual level than this person because they didn't experience this. And your mind would do this to you to make you feel like that, and you're actually going into that trap, and your mind will play along with that and make you think you're getting somewhere, and then you really not, and you really just boost your ego up even more. So, God, know that God is not on a different level, and oh, I'm here, you there, and because God is right where you are. Only focus is where you're seeing from. Don't seek anything from it. Just abide right there, like that place that's what's seeing. Just keep realizing what's seeing, and that's the true you, and just abide in that place. Meditation is abiding in who you truly are, and abiding in God, and realizing that you and God are one. So the whole point is to realize, whole point of meditation is to abide in who you truly are and in God, and you will know that you are God, not in an egoistic way, but that you and God are one. And it's the whole point is to realize what you are. It's like God trying to realize what it is through viewing what you are not. So all the external things and what you're seeing is what you're not. So you're using that to realize what you are. It's kind of like space using the wind to blow the tree to realize itself, as the soul sends the spirit to the physical to realize itself. So like space is like the soul, right? And the wind and air blowing is like the spirit, and the tree is like the physical body that's moving and doing things. So the space used air and the wind blowing the tree, and it realized itself by seeing that. So also I want to say, like after meditating, grounding is a good thing because meditation can make you like really airy. Like, you know how a leaf is like very airy and could be like blown like in circles and blown in different directions here and there. And it's like you ground. You gotta kind of ground after, because you can become airy from meditation. So what I do is, this is me personally. I don't know if you have like a personal grounding type of technique or whatever. What I do is work out and do like a weighted like calisthenics, and it's kind of like a way of getting back into like your body and like feeling the world and like feeling, the pressure. And and what I do is I do squats, because squats is good for like grounding, because like your legs and your feet, and you feel in the ground, and you feel like the weight. It's like you having the weight of the world on you. And I do squats and push-ups also, and planks, so it's like you getting the whole body in a way. Like you're doing the bottom by doing squats, you're doing the upper by doing push-ups, and also planks. So you're getting like the mid. So and also, I'm not gonna lie, to ground, I eat like Snickers. And because sometimes like candy, it tastes good, and it makes you feel like sometimes, like that it's like you get back into the world. It's like you going back, like, I'm back here, and you feel that that lust, or for candy and chocolate and stuff like that, and it brings you back kind of. And I like Snickers, I'm not gonna lie. And that's grounding is good, because it's like when you ground, it's like a it keeps you rooted in like a tree. Like, how the tree is rooted in, but it grows tall and high, and even if it's blown side to side and it goes through a storm or whatever, it still is rooted in, and it might, things might fall off, but it's still there, and is rooted in. So you do wanna go high and grow taller and taller and taller, and see what's in the clouds, but you also still want to be rooted in, so you're not just blown all over the place. Because a lot of times when someone is too airy, that can cause what we call like mental illness, because sometimes people lose a sense of themselves, and they just getting blown in different directions, and that's also why we have an ego. So so you can use it as a tool. You're supposed to use it as a tool, and it keeps you grounded, of like, okay, I'm this person. So you could use it as this world as a laboratory, as this person, and go in a certain direction, instead of just being thrown around everywhere, and you think you a bunch of different people, or you you think you have a bunch of different feelings. I'm not going to say the names of these things because I'm not sure how, I don't want to take anybody take offense. And, you just go in different places. So that's why it's good to keep grounded. And also, I wanted to, before I end, just give a recommendation for books that help with learning, not just learning about meditation, but how to like go about it and to realize the purpose of it. And the books are the Tibetan Book of the Dead, another one called Darkness Visible, also Handbook of Thanatology, and the book On Death and Dying by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I know it sounds weird talking about death a lot, but learning about death and dying could teach you a lot about meditation. And because it goes hand in hand, because meditation in a way is kind of preparing you for death. Because to be honest, death is the true test. And that, because what you use this life for and what you got ready for, and is the test is death. Because we can say we learned these things and we read a lot of these things and we heard a lot of these things, but when we pass on, that's going to be the real test. Because we can have listened to a lot of things, but did your meditation and while you're meditating, detach from the things that you're seeing? Because what if you pass on, and then the way it looks during meditation, you don't have a body anymore, and those attachments come up in your vision, and your mind is still there, and you see these attachments. How do you know, if you never practiced this during this life, that you're not gonna just be attached to those images which you see, and those feelings that you feel, and those cravings that you're feeling when you don't have a body anymore? And that's why it's good to, while you're alive, practice these things and prepare for death, because that's going to be the true test. Okay.